Hi class and happy Friday. I hope you're having a wonderful day and are excited for the Pep Fest. But I hope you can take a couple minutes to watch this video so that you're ready for your test on Tuesday. Today we're going to quickly learn about kingdoms under the microscope. To begin this, we are going to talk about the four kingdoms that are part of the domain Eukarya. Okay, everything that's here is stuff we've learned so far. All living things get broken down into two cell types, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotes then get split into two domains, bacteria and archaea, and eukaryotes stay as one domain, eukarya. Eukarya then gets split into four different kingdoms. Those kingdoms are Plantae. This includes all the plants, trees, grasses in the world. Animalia, which includes all the different animals. Fungi, which is all the fungus. And Protista, which are single-celled organisms that have a nucleus. These things are the ones you've learned before, and then everything in this box here is new, so you're going to want to write that down in your notes. Plantae, Animalia, Fungi, and Protista. Now we're going to walk through what each of these things look like under a microscope, because that will be part of your test, is identifying pictures from a microscope. We didn't have time to use the microscopes, so I'm just going to show you really good pictures and tell you how to distinguish between the four kingdoms. The first we'll look at Plantae, or plants. When you look under a microscope at a plant, it's going to look like this. And there's four ways to tell that this is a plant. The first is you'll be able to see the cell walls in between. Okay, plants have cell walls to help with protection and structure. They're almost like a plant's bones. Okay, and you can see them here like building blocks. The second way to tell is that it's multicellular. You can see all the cells stuck together. The third way is it's green, and plants are green. And the last way is that you can see the little chloroplasts. Little chloroplasts are tiny little dots. With plants, you cannot see the nuclei, but that they are still eukarya. The nucleus is still there, you just can't see it. Moving on to kingdom Animalia, or animal cells. There's three ways to tell when you look under a microscope that it is an animal cell. The first is that they have the nucleus. Okay. Eukaryotes have a nucleus, and you can see the nucleus in an animal cell. These cells came from the cheek of a human. Second thing is that they're circular and not boxy. This distinguishes them from a plant cell. Plant cells will always be boxy in shape, whereas animal cells will be more circular because they lack a cell wall. They only have a cell membrane. Last is their size. They're a lot bigger than any prokaryote cell that you would see. The third picture I have is of a fungi or fungus, so think mushrooms. Fungi are unique looking under the microscope in that they always have two parts. They are also multicellular, so that's one thing you can take a look for. But the two parts are the following: spores and stringy parts. So you have a stringy part here coming up to a bunch of spores. That's how you can tell a fungi. Fungi are rarely ever on tests because they're kind of unique, so you might not have to worry about this one for an exam. And last, we have Protista. Protista are single-celled organisms, and they are still a member, even though they kind of resemble bacteria, they're still a member of the domain Eukarya because they have a nucleus. Three ways to tell a Protista is that it's single-celled, and all the other ones from the other kingdoms are multicelled. It has a nucleus, so it is not a bacteria, even though it's small and single-celled. And then it's bigger than a bacteria. This is a picture of a protist on 400x, so our high power of our microscope. And when you looked at bacteria on your high power of your microscope, it was really, really tiny. So these are a lot larger because they're eukaryotic than a bacteria. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a fun, safe weekend at the homecoming game and homecoming dance.